Bandits attack military camp in Katsina, loot homes, destroy vehicles and others. Fallen heroes serving military personnel honored as Nigeria marks Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Nigeria's inflation rises to new records of 28.9%. And on the foreign scene, Hamas officials say Gaza deaths top 24,000 as war drags on. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. In a disturbing incident, a young girl abducted in Dutse area of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, has met a tragic end at the hands of her captors after her family failed to meet the demanded 50 million naira ransom. The victim, along with her two cousins and other residents, including her mother and three siblings, fell prey to abduction on Sunday, January the 7th, 2024 at Sagwari Layout Estate, Dutse. Sadly, the lifeless body of the young girl was discovered among 4 corpses of kidnapped victims dumped at Ida near Ushafa in Buari Area Council. Hassana Suleiman, a family member, revealed that the kidnappers initially demanded a ransom of 50 million naira for the release of the deceased and her two cousins. The tragedy unfolded when the family was unable to meet the ransom requirement. This chilling incident underscores the urgent need for enhanced security measures and concerted efforts to combat the rising menace of kidnappings in the region. In the meantime, Commissioner for Public Complaints Commission, PCC, representing the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Ezekiel Musa Dalhatu, has said FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has not been properly briefed on the high level of insecurity in the nation's capital. Addressing a press conference in Abuja on Monday, Dalhatu said insecurity had risen to an all-time high, saying what appears to be like communal clashes amongst remote communities has degenerated into full business by miscreants. He said the commission under his office had received an avalanche of complaints from both individuals and groups, including Abuja original inhabitants, Youth Empowerment Organization, over incessant cases of killings and abduction by bandits. He said residents of communities in Abaji, Kwali, Gwagwalada, Kuje and Buari area councils in Abuja South were living in fear due to incessant cases of banditry and kidnapping. He said 176 people were reportedly abducted by bandits across Kuje, Kwali and Buari area councils of the FCT under 2 months. He also called for equipping of the local vigilantes across the 6 area councils, noting that they are willing to sacrifice their lives to defend their people through participating in local vigilante. The recent tragic incident involving the kidnapping and killing of Nabiha with her 5 sisters still in captivity in Zuma 1 of the Buari Area Council of the FCT has heightened concerns about the escalating insecurity in Nigeria's capital. In this report, Newell Sampson visits Zuma community in Buari to underscore the growing insecurity in the federal capital. Here's Newell Sampson's report.
A visit to Zuma 1 community in the Buari axis of the FCT reveals the tense atmosphere, with many houses locked, including family residents of the late Nabiha. Efforts to engage with the committee members proved challenging, prompting a turn to the FCT command for insight into the response to the escalating security issues in the FCT.
We've been conducting readings in some of our identified black spots. We've been demolishing some shanties, areas that pose as a threat to security within the FCT. And we had deployment of our personnel for constant patrol, stop and search at night. And also the Commissioner of Police himself has been going out to the bordering communities that are porous. He is assessing the security situation within those borders, and he has been speaking also with commissioners of police in those states that are contagious to FCT.
The The FCT Police Command says it is taking actions to address the rising security challenges while emphasizing the importance of collaboration with the public and law enforcement for effective security measures.
We've been using what is available for us to curb most of the menace within the FCT, and even during this visits within Buhari, we were able to deploy about 2 APC. Initially we deployed 1, now we added more, and also personnel were also added to Buhari to cover some areas that we feel need more personnel.
Josephine Ade also shares valuable security tips for the public, urging citizens to actively contribute to the safeguarding efforts of the police in Abuja. Noel Samson, TrustTV News, Abuja.
In another development, an armed bandit gang has attacked a joint military camp at Nahuta village in Batari local government area of Katsina State. A security source attached to the camp told newsmen on Monday that the attack was carried out at about 11:30 p.m. on Sunday. The hoodlums destroyed vehicles and some valuables during the assault. Although no life was lost, the source explained that the personnel attached to the camp succeeded in repelling the attack. He noted that the hoodlums, who also invaded Nahuta town, burgled some shops, broke into houses, and carted away properties and domestic animals worth millions of naira. When contacted, the Nigerian military denied the reported attacks. Our reporter in Katsina, Abdullahi Yadi, is joining us via phone call to give us an update. Hello, Yadi. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. So what do we know about the details and sequence of the attack?
Well, like I said earlier, people in the community are seriously living in fear. And the fear is that of the unknown, because during the attack, residents of the community overheard the bandits threatening to launch another attack. And of course, from what happened during the attack, they overpowered the military base there. And of course, the whole community was overwhelmed about the attack. So at the moment, like I said in the earlier report, people are fleeing the community to other communities perceived safer. And even though the residents are suspecting that some of the bandits were killed, but they quickly took the bodies of their members to their dens, because they say they have seen some traces of blood of some of the bandits along the routes to the forest. And then they are also calling on the government to deploy more security personnel to their community because of the frequency of the attack. You may wish to recall that this is the same community that was attacked about 3 times in a space of only 2 months. They are also calling for synergy and collaboration among security personnel guarding the area because of this frequency of this attack. And of course, other neighboring communities are seriously in fear because of the recent attacks. You may wish to recall that recently Kukar Babangida in Jigawa local government was attacked, where 8 people were killed, including the village head of the area. And of course, not much longer, when Benue village in the Musa local government was attacked, some traders were ambushed along their way to Entumaki market, where about 8 people were also killed. And then another heavy attack was also launched at Dangadi village, or in the Musa local government. So the frequency of the attack is getting too much, And of course, people are beginning to ask questions. Why should these attacks continue unabated? And,
okay, Abdullahi,
without,
let me stop you there and ask you what this attack signposts. Is this a bigger security threat in Katsina?
Indeed, it is bigger security threat because what happened at Nahuta village it seems to be a coordinated attack because these people came in numbers. Residents are saying about 500 armed bandits invaded the village. So, and they came purposely for some cows that were kept with the military base there because due to frequency of the attacks, most of the neighboring communities bring their cows to the military base for safekeep. So they followed those cows and they successfully rustled those cows, about 300 of them from the military personnel there. So you can see how deadly the attack was, even though no body was killed, but they have a mission and their mission was accomplished. So this is what is happening. And of course, that of Kukab Babangida, they attacked the village. 8 people were killed, like I said, including the village head. So it is a deadly attack, and these attacks continue unabated. So
with these attacks that are happening incessantly now, particularly this one where, of course, we're looking at how a unit has been sacked within a military apparatchik. How are the security agencies responding to this particular attack?
Well, a military source from the camp said they requested for reinforcement, but efforts to get the reinforcement failed. And the spokesperson of the 17th Brigade of the Nigerian Army here in Katsina, when contacted, said nothing happened there. And the story of the attack was a false story. It is not true. So you can see the issue there because at the base they confirmed the attack, and they were even saying they came under heavy attack. They requested for reinforcement, but they were not given reinforcement. And the military formation here at the state is saying there was no attack.
We'll stay with you and consider this a running story. We thank you so very much, Abdullahi Yadi, our Katsina State reporter. Thank you for bringing us up to date. In the meantime, the Northern Consensus Movement of Nigeria has warned security agencies, particularly the military, against the unjust killings of Nigerians. TrustTV's recent report revealed the discovery of 11 Fulani bodies in Kachia local government area, allegedly killed by soldiers. Despite military denial of involvement, concerns persist over the reported incident. Here's that report.
During a press briefing in Kaduna alongside victims of relatives and Fulani leaders from Ladwiga community, the NCM president stressed the need for the Nigerian military, known for professionalism, to prevent tarnishing its reputation by a few rough elements.
Some people are doing some things in order to tarnish the image of the security agencies. We are calling on the security agencies to watch out for the bad acts or people that are working towards tarnishing the good name, the good image, the professional acceptability that the security agencies have within Nigeria, Africa, West Africa, African continent, and even the world over. Nigerian soldiers are respected, are seen to be professionals, are recognized as such, and we wish for the Nigerian soldiers and all security agencies in Nigeria to maintain that good name by not allowing any bad acts using to come and infiltrate and commit crime in their own name.
The movement called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intervene by calling the military to order, while also imploring Fulani youth to remain calm and allow authorities to thoroughly investigate the incident. In alignment with these concerns, Dr. Ibrahim Abdullahi, the national president of Gan Allah Fulani Group, reveals that Approximately 17 bodies have been recovered in Kachia Forest.
We have done our finding, and this is our finding. As to the number of people that have been killed, that also, those that we have already identified, their corpses are about 17 in total. There are those that are still at large. They are still presumably with the military, and we hope that they will be released very soon.
Relatives of the victims and other Fulani groups expressed their grievances during the meeting.
I'm borrowing a Chinese language that says, one of the principles of success is sincerity. And they call this meeting because of sincerity. So we have to speak our mind out of sincerity.
They make a heartfelt appeal to Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa, urging an end to alleged unlawful military killings of innocent people. Additionally, they call on northern governors to take decisive action to halt the unjust killings of Fulani in society. The plea is for a comprehensive investigation into the matter to ensure justice prevails. Bella Musa, TrustTV News, Kaduna.
And away from security now, Nigeria's inflation figure has continued its increasing pace, posting a 28.92% rise in December 2023. The new record is the highest in 24 years in a report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. Early on Monday, December 2023, inflation rate of 28.92% represents an increase of 0.72% from the 28.20% recorded in November 2023. On a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 7.58%, points higher compared to the rate recorded in December 2022, which was 21.34%. This shows that the headline inflation rate year-on-year basis increased in December 2023 when compared to the same month in the preceding year. According to NBS, the rise in food inflation on a year-on-year basis was caused by increases in prices of bread and cereals, oil and fat, potatoes, yam and other tubers, fish, meat, fruit, milk, cheese, and egg. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it has concluded plans to hand over the Port Harcourt Refinery to private operators. The NNPCL said it is seeking to engage reputable and credible operations and maintenance companies to operate and maintain the Port Harcourt Refining Company. This, it said, was to ensure reliability and sustainability towards meeting the nation's fuel supply and energy security obligations. In a publication on its website on Monday, the NNPCL said the contract scope shall cover refinery business processes like long-term and short-term production, operations planning, production and operations execution, monitoring, reporting, and optimization of operations, maintenance execution, health and safety, environmental management, minor projects, and others. NNPCL requested that interested companies must demonstrate a minimum average annual turnover of at least $2 billion for the financial years ending 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, respectively. Joining us via phone call to give insights on these developments is an economist, Yushau Aliyu. Hello, good evening. We thank you for joining us.
Good evening, and Happy New Year.
Same to you. Well, break down these new figures and what it says about the Nigerian economy.
What it's saying about Nigerian economy is a simple fact that today Nigeria has witnessed the working of Petroleum Industry Act, whereby NNPC is inviting investors to invest. But the level of investment depends on workability of agreement between the government and the concession companies. However, what we are thinking is that Nigerian economy, as it is diversified, the agriculture is going to be working, the energy sector is also going to be working, and the oil sector is also going to be working. But it's not only the working that is most important to them, to the economy, but the contribution of each and every sector for the growth and development of Nigerian economy in this year.
The growth of every sector. Let's talk food.
Yeah.
Food prices are usually affordable because of the harvest, but the indicators are showing a different trajectory. Why is this so?
It is so because we don't have an organized energy sector, and we don't have an organized oil sector, because since the removal of petroleum subsidy in the middle of last year, prices continue to change, and they will continue to change because there are so much supply bottlenecks. And not only supply bottlenecks, there is a lot of malpractices going on in terms of middlemen, and the middlemen are not helping matters, especially in the agri production zone. And government also is not doing well, because if you decide to protect industry, to protect the agricultural sector by closing our Nigerian borders, consumers' house also has to be protected, because you cannot allow individuals to be going to the farmland even before harvest, now depositing monies and collecting the goods, and at the end of the day changing prices and shortchanging Nigerian customers because of many serious economic inefficiencies.
So this Port Harcourt Refinery and the NNPCL decision to concession its operations to a private company, will this be a net positive decision, do you think?
It is the only options that is remain for the government, because the refineries have not been working and so much resources have been spent. The little study that we have conducted over 10 years, so much more than 25 billion has been spent in maintaining moribund refineries. So you cannot continue to waste Nigerian taxpayers' money for an industry that is not even producing for the economy, not even thinking to contribute to the growth of the economy. So, but I think in controlling inflation is not only the energy sector, is not only the oil sector, but it involves the function of the Central Bank of Nigeria in maintaining price stability. There are much to be done in an attempt to regularize supplies in the market of most of the agricultural output because of the supply bottlenecks, and also there is need for government also to make sure that the price of input that is being used in agricultural sector is being checked, because so far, if the fertilizer continue to maintain high prices and cost of input also continue to maintain high prices, there is no way we can come and control the situation that is facing Nigerian consumer.
Let's return to refinery issues now. With the Dangote refinery now operational, what should be the realistic expectations of Nigerians on a turnaround with regards to our energy crisis?
See, the first expectation is for the Dangote supplies to reduce pump price of premium motor spirit, the automobile gas oil, that is the PMS and AGO respectively, because these are determinant as far as prices are concerned in Nigeria. The small medium enterprises rely so much in the prices of this good to determine their profit. Not only that, we are expecting the supply to go all around the corners of Nigerian economy, because if Dangote, with the capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, is to bring even half of the supplies, we are expecting the supply to contain the production zone, that is the Lagos zone, the Lagos axis, and by extension the southwest. And not only the production of the PMS, but we are expecting, because the refinery has the capacity of generating over 12,000 megawatts of electricity. This is a good figure to change narratives as far as industrialization is concerned, as far as unemployment is concerned, and as far as standard of living of the people of Nigeria is also concerned.
So great expectations there. We've been talking to Yushau Aliyu, an economist. We thank you for weighing in on the issues. Thank you very much for joining us.
And I thank you very much for the enlightenment. Thank you.
President Bola Tinubu on Monday led all heads of the three arms of government to the wreath-laying ceremony at the National Arcade, Abuja, to commemorate this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day. All principals of the three arms of government were present to lay the wreaths to honor the fallen heroes and those members of the armed forces that are still engaged in conflicts around the world. Kehinde Amodu has that report.
All traditions to mark this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day are performed with military precision and solemnity, starting with the arrival of the President and the national salute. The laying of the wreaths. The 21-gun salute. Beyond the ceremony, and as it is every year, attention will turn to widows and dependents left by fallen heroes. Is government really living up to its responsibilities?
Remorse feeling, mourning. They reflect the mourning in us. But we don't remember today that these people really left us for real. And the spirit of today is remembering their sacrifice that is not in vain. That one gives us more strength. That since they are not forgotten, they didn't die in vain. So celebrating them today, it awakens that the job they did by laying their lives for the nation is remembered by them. One thing in life is to be remembered. Some have died and they are forgotten. But remembering they give us that the sacrifices, the sacrifice they paid is honored.
Government should not get tired of looking at the welfare of veterans, especially when it relates to increase of salary of the serving members of the armed forces. There should be a corresponding increase also to the salaries or to the pension of the those who have served and left. The families of the fallen heroes, actually after the demise of their loved ones, they are left after giving them the entitlement of gratuity and death benefit. They are left in the hand of the Nigerian Legion. But Nigerian Legion is not well-footed, it's not grounded in terms of finances to be able to shoulder the enormous responsibilities of looking after all the members of the family of the fallen heroes.
Nevertheless, government is pledging to do right by military pensioners and families of those left behind by the fallen heroes.
And today's ceremony is just to signify to all of them that they are not alone, that we also mourn with them, and we continue to pray for God Almighty to console them and provide for the children and the siblings that they have left behind. And again, the presence of all of us is also a major significance that yes, indeed, the government of the day would never let them mourn alone.
The celebrations of the military and sacrifices they keep on making to keep the nation safe should not be limited to just the 15th of January. It would be ideal if their sacrifices are remembered every day and their stories never forgotten. From the National Arcade, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, TrustTV News.
This is News Hour on TrustTV. Coming up after the break. Gas-powered tricycle rider witnesses increased profits and benefits after switching petrol engine to gas. More news when we return. Do stay. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on TrustTV. We take a look at our top stories. Bandits attack military camp in Katsina, loot homes, destroy vehicles and others. Fallen heroes serving military personnel honored as Nigeria marks Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Moving on to other stories now. During the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Kano, Governor Abba Kabir assured the initiation of a special program dedicated to supporting ex-servicemen across the state. The governor highlighted his administration's commitment to including retired military personnel and their families in palliative projects throughout Kano. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin now reports.
In Nigeria, January 15 is set aside to remember the nation's armed forces who led their lives in the struggle and defense of this country. In Kano, Governor Abba Kabir, who is observing the day for the first time since his inauguration in May last year, performed the wreath-laying ceremony to officially mark the day. Then the gun salute and releasing of pigeon, which symbolizes peace and respect for the fallen heroes. According to Governor Abba, his administration will come up with various programs aimed at assisting both the retired and fallen ex-servicemen across the state.
I've been getting in touch with all the heads of the security agencies in the state with a view to fashioning out most important avenues of assisting the security agencies. But what I intend to do is the inauguration of Security Trust Fund. We have gone far on that, and very soon we are going to invite eminent Kano indigents as well as eminent Nigerians we feel can come in and give contributions so that at least we'll take measures to curtail the insecurity situation in the state.
The 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Kano was attended by all service chiefs attached to the state, members of the Nigerian Legion, the Emir of Kano, Amina Ado Bayero, as well as the families and relatives of the nation's fallen heroes. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Activities marking the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Week have been rounded off with the laying of wreaths in honor of fallen heroes at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Makurdi. Jimmy Azande, who is our correspondent in Makurdi, said as part of the event, he spoke to some veterans who listed poor welfare as one of the challenges facing ex-servicemen in the state. Here's Jimmy with that report.
According to the veterans, government needs to do more in the area of improved welfare for the ex-servicemen who offered meritorious services to the nation at the prime of their lives.
Right now, we are being neglected, so to speak. We are being neglected. We are not giving our rights properly. What we mean by that is that all the previous increments, they are not fair to us. They do not give us what reflects our long service and the suffering we have suffered.
For this war, we are the foundation of this Nigerian army where we did. Now we take over from the British soldiers. But after keeping Nigeria one, we has a commander, President General Yakubu Gowon told us that to keep Nigeria one is a task, and that must be done. And we have done it. After doing it, we are done. They are not taking care of us. The little we are taking is not given to us. It's not given to us. When they say they will shout, the whole world will hear, say they are taking the present, we say we're taking care of the retirees, and we did not get anything.
I want to tell government that to alleviate our suffering in the we are suffering, and those, especially those who want to take pension and this, they're still suffering.
According to the coordinator in Benue State, The story of some widows of fallen heroes is a major concern.
Some persons died, and what happened? Their wives denied where they could find cases like that. Some of the women are sick, really sick, and we just try to put one and one together to visit them, to help them. But we cannot do much because we ourselves do not have much in our own custody.
The veterans expressed satisfaction with the continuous existence of Nigeria as an indivisible entity, attributing it to the efforts of ex-servicemen who fought to keep Nigeria as one. Jimmy Azandi, TrustTV News, Makurdi.
The Kaduna State Governor, Ubasani, has expressed confidence in the ability of the Nigerian military to put an end to crime and criminality in the country. The governor said this at the grand finale of activities marking this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Kaduna. Here's that report.
Governor Ubasani at the Remembrance event led other dignitaries to lay wreaths at the tomb of the unknown soldier in honor of the fallen hero.
Appreciate the fact that we're here to celebrate and for also Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, because we're here to honor our servicemen and veterans of the Nigerian Armed Forces. It also gives us opportunity to reflect on the sacrifice, bravery and commitment of our fallen heroes who lost their lives in defense of our territorial integrity. Having said that, we also have to appreciate.
President of the Nigerian Legion in the state, Major Baron Njuma, retired, appealed for support for widows and children of the fallen heroes.
I'm still seeing myself today. I'm very grateful. So I want everybody in Nigeria to be with us, because with that soldier, you can never live in the country. So soldiers, pray for them more. Those that are in service now. Even we that we are scribed, pray for us. We know we used to give an advice.
Widows of the fallen heroes who also lay wreath for their deceased husband urge both the federal and the state government to help ameliorate the plight of families of the fallen heroes.
In terms of welfare, so many widows are there, left alone to fend for the children. It hasn't been easy for some of us, but to God be the glory that we are alive, we are hale and hearty. We thank God for everything.
Your Excellency, sir, the release of the white pigeon signifies peace, prosperity, and success in Kaduna State.
High point was a gun salute for the departed personnel. Bello Musa, TrustTV News, Kaduna.
In Jos, the capital of Plateau State, a gas-powered tricycle rider, Abdullahi Mahmoud, is sharing his experience on the advantages of converting his tricycle from petrol to gas. Since making this shift in October 2023, Mahmoud reports a significant increase in his business profits. Although initially skeptical, the decision has proved to be a wise one. Dixon Adama had a conversation with Mahmoud and filed this report as presented from our studio.
Plying the streets of Jos, the Plateau State capital, with his tricycle and picking passengers from one point to another while charging the same fares, Abdullahi Mahmoud operates just like any other tricycle operator. Other similarities between Mahmoud and other tricyclists is that they all set out in the morning and return in the evening, have their riding licenses and other permits papers, and they all belong to the same transport union, among others. But more often than not, Mahmoud is absent at fuel stations and present at the gas stations. This is the only time the hitherto relaxed passengers become amazed, while others get uneasy. Mahmoud, 33 years old, This is because, unlike others, Mahmoud operates a tricycle that is powered mostly by gas rather than fuel. The tricycle can actually alternate between being powered by either gas or fuel. Mahmoud, who resides in Dogon Karfe area of Jos South local government, explained that the capacity of the cylinder the tricycle uses is 3 kg, adding that since he has been using it to power his tricycle, there has never been any hitches. He says it is safe, convenient, accessible, and cheaper to use as well.
If I refill my gas 3 kg from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I'm earning like 8,000, 7,000, 8,000, 7,000 each day. So this gas is very cheaper than fuel for me.
Mahmoud called on tricycle operators to approach the company for the conversion of their tricycle to alternate gas usage because of its benefits.
So I'm encouraging all the members, all the Keke Napep riders to come and do this thing, because this thing is too cheaper.
This gas-powered tricycle initiative followed the removal on the fuel subsidy and its attendant astronomical increase in the price. It is gathered that currently about 10 tricyclists have indicated interest and have either converted their tricycle to using gas or in the process of doing so.
Good news from Abdul Karim in Jos. As part of efforts to boost the economy of Jigawa State and reduce unemployment, no fewer than 4,400 small-scale business owners in the state have received seed capital to boost their businesses. This is the fourth in the series of empowerment efforts targeted at small-scale business owners in the state by the Governor Umar Namadi administration. The initiative, which is supported by the World Bank, is targeting 150,000 beneficiaries before the end of 2024. Poverty alleviation is top on the 12-point agenda of the Umar Namadi administration, with the state government saying it is pursuing it vigorously until the poverty rate in the state is reduced to the barest minimum.
We all are aware of the fact that the level of poverty in our state is very high and is quite high. And as a government, we are determined to fight that poverty head-on. We have decided to bring in policies that will empower our people, especially the youth. And we feel we will not be tired in that struggle. We will continue to do it day in, day out, until and unless we remove Jigawa out of poverty.
Umbrella of the JKS program, we are empowering 4,359 people with a sum of 50,000 naira each, and all we are trying to do is to, push more money for these people to start their businesses. Therefore, they can be self-reliant, they can be able to take their upkeep of life, and they can be able to utilize this money judiciously, and in the next couple of months or years, they will become bigger entrepreneur that can employ labor as well as contribute their quota to the improvement and the development of the state, inshallah.
In another development, the Code of Conduct Bureau will on Tuesday question the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, over the alleged connection of his company in a 438 million naira contract fraud at the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. It was alleged that New Planet projects reportedly belonging to the minister benefited from the contract. Tunji-Ojo was dragged into a litany of sharp practices involving the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry following the suspension of Betta Edu, who headed the ministry, by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He was at the Aso Villa in Abuja last week alongside his colleagues to meet with the president shortly after the allegation went viral. He, however, said the meeting had no connection with the allegation, which he had also denied. Meanwhile, a letter addressed to Tunji Ojo revealed that the Code of Conduct Bureau has invited the minister for an investigation, asking him to appear before it on Tuesday, January 16, 2024, at the Code of Conduct Bureau headquarters, Federal Secretariat Complex, Abuja. The letter was signed by the Code of Conduct Bureau Director Investigation and Monitoring, Gwimi SP, on behalf of the Code of Conduct Bureau Chairman, Murtala Aliyu. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency has confirmed that a boat mishap has occurred in Borgu local government area of the state. The Director General of the agency, Abdullahi Ara, disclosed this in a statement in Minna on Monday. He stated that the incident happened on Monday afternoon, adding that the boat took off from Duga Mashaya in Duga Ward towards Wara Market in Kebbi State. Babara noted that the boat was conveying passengers estimated to be around 100, including goods, grains, and other valuables. According to him, the agency is yet to ascertain the number of deaths and survivors. He said search and rescue operations were ongoing by local divers, the agency desk officers, and local government officials. And to education now, students at the Federal University of Technology Akure, FUTA, in Ondo State have shut down the institution to protest the over 100% increase in their tuition by the school management. The undergraduate students who assembled at the university's main gate in the early hours of Monday were seen chanting solidarity songs and waving their placards bearing different inscriptions. Daily Trust reported that a circular earlier released by the institution's management showed that the institution has increased the tuition from 29,000 to 131,000 naira for the old students, while the fee was raised from 108,000 to 240,000 for fresh students. The development had raised concerns among the students who vowed to shut down academic activities on the campus starting from Monday. In the meantime, heavily armed security personnel, including men of the Nigeria Police Force, State Security Service, and Federal Road Safety Corps, are currently manning strategic locations of the school campus to avoid a breakdown of law and order. Time now to join Yusuf Akogu for Business Update.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. There's a mounting pressure on the federal government to make a significant release to clear the foreign airlines trap fund amidst their threat to exit Nigeria. This is despite the release of $61.4 million by the Central Bank of Nigeria last week as part of reports to clear outstanding liabilities and bolster the foreign exchange market. According to data from the International Air Transport Association, IATA, Nigeria accounted for a substantial part of airlines trap funds globally. The foreign airlines say the $61.4 million paid by the Nigerian government is not enough to cover operation expenses. Stock market is a barometer through which economic growth are measured. This explainer highlights the potential of investment in NGS in 2024. Take a listen. In 2023, the Nigerian stock market recorded a 45% return, the only asset class that outperformed inflation. The equities market is on track again this year with a year-to-date return of 14.87%. Nigerian equities are beating all peers in Europe, Middle East and African region in 2024. The local bourse currently trails only Argentina globally. As an investor in Nigeria, however, to beat the double-digit inflation and rising cost of living, relying on savings accounts with minimal yields won't provide succor. A diversified investment portfolio is advisable, including stocks that can provide gains above the current inflation rates. Many analysts have agreed that the stock market performance has been generally exciting. On stock to invest in, analysts say most liquid stocks are in the banking sector, which can be bought and sell easily at a fair value. However, before delving into stock market investment, it is critical to look at the finances and past performances of quoted companies. Now to food commodities. Staying up to date with the prices of foodstuff in Nigeria is crucial for making informed choices when shopping for groceries. Here are the current food prices. Now to the exchange rate market. Instability in the FX market continues to affect investors' confidence in Nigeria. Here are today's figures. Time to look at the stock market. The market ended positively with investors cutting home 1.85 trillion naira gain last week from their investment. Analysts have emphasized that the portfolio rebalancing on the exchange continue as earnings and of course the dividend season draws closer. It's another bullish Monday. Let's look at what the market has for us today. It's bullish again today we have on this Monday. Let's look at the market movers for the day. We have the like of Transcorp Nigeria Limited doing about 66.9894 million volume of shares. ICO Insurance there today 62.292 million volume of shares. Of course, Wema Bank not left out there 41.573 million shares it did today on the floor. If you look at it, that performance has moved the market to 1.92%. The index way there. I mean, the first time again we are crossing to 84,000. Again, very good day you say for the market. 779.017 million shares, value at 10.773 billion in a deals of 13,366 exchange hands among investors today. Let's look at the top gaining equities that we have today. We have the like of Mansard Insurance doing 10% there, Champ PLC also 10%, and of course Darcom from the telecom industry also doing 10% as well. Of course, when they are gainers, of course, you expect to see some losers. And we have Abe Bread, Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank, and of course, Julius Berger all ended on the losing charts today. These are the highlights of the stock market in Nigeria. Let's look at the market in Africa and of course, the rest of the world. Finally, in business, crude oil prices lost more than 1% on Monday as the Middle East conflict limited impact on crude output prompted profit taking after oil benchmark gained 2% last week. And in London market, Brent crude sell for $78 per barrel. For the oil basket, price increases by 2.18%. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
And away from Nigeria, health officials in the Hamas-run Gaza on Monday reported more than 24,000 deaths in the war with Israel as the fighting passed the 100-day milestone. Deadly violence in the Israeli-occupied West Bank and along Israel's border with Lebanon, as well as fighting between U.S. forces and Iran-backed Yemeni rebels in the Red Sea have raised fears of an escalation beyond the Gaza Strip. The war, sparked by Palestinian attacks on Israel, has created a humanitarian catastrophe for the 2.4 million people in the besieged Strip and reduced much of the territory to rubble. The health ministry in Gaza, ruled by Hamas since 2007, reported more than 60 martyrs and dozens more wounded overnight in what the group's media office described as intense Israeli bombardment across Gaza. The Hamas government media office said 2 hospitals, a girls' school, and dozens of homes were hit overnight. Hospitals in Gaza have been hit repeatedly since the war. The latest strikes hit the southern cities of Khan Yunis and Rafah, as well as areas around Gaza City, the Hamas media office said. Let's now join Emmanuel Fashmi for Sports Update.
Matches continued in match day 3 of Africa's biggest football tournament. Defending champion Senegal beat Gambia 3-0 to kick off their campaign. On a bright note, in Group C, Papi Gueye and Lamine Camara got the goals for the Teranga Lions of Senegal. The indomitable Lions of Cameroon, on the other hand, were forced to a 1-1 draw by the Sili National of Guinea. Mohamed Bayo put Guinea ahead on the 10th minute of play before Frank Magri leveled things on 51st minute for 2017 champions. Meanwhile, the Desert Warriors of Algeria is currently taking on Angola. 4 games were played in the Nigerian Premier Football League match day 18. At the Samson Siasa Stadium in Yenagoa, Bayelsa United beat Bendel Insurance 2-0. Remo Stars lost away to Katsina United by 2 goals. Lobby Stars of Makurdi and Kano Pillars played a 1-1 draw. Shooting Stars of Ibadan held Sporting Lagos to a 2-2 draw at the Onikon Stadium in Lagos. And that is it on sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
Thank you, Emmanuel. And with that, we have come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. On behalf of the hardworking team, I am Eugenia Abu. We thank you for joining us.